All right, cyber traders, good afternoon and welcome on back to close things out for this whole week. Great to have John and Carrie Farzad still with us here, and a lot of us still doing pretty nicely on this wolf trade. So give me a quick sound check. Let me know if everyone can hear me loud and clear, but should be good to go across the board inside our live trading room as well as on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Just down below on the corner left, I got a face for radio, but right showing there at Cyber Trading You. Feel free to hit the follow or subscribe button down below if you are on our social media streams or platforms alike. Great to have Leda, Kathleen, Elena, Dave, all of us just here though otherwise. And, hey, let me just ask, is anyone still in on this wolf trade from earlier, whether from the opening bell or even if you were still with us heading into the, early to mid-afternoon? This has been a beauty of a trade. It's easy to say that after the fact. Not every trade will, fall into our lap as smoothly as this has, but that's just where, hey, if you're a student of ours, you go through our classes, if you're here more often than not, you know what to look for when it comes to jumping in at least. So the best part about this stock, first and foremost, is that this was tradable. You don't need to, look at the shiny object in the room to make money. Hey, if you didn't trade kids, KIDZ, or any of the other crazy movers from this week, this was the perfect type of stock. So from the market open, at least, let's go over this move because it ended up making a pretty good pop. But, hey, we were focused on this a little bit after the open. One of our students, Chris, I know Leda was on top of it. Chris had called it out after the opening bell, got my attention. He was one of our more successful students, I'd say, here just in CTU altogether. And I see his call out. I know what to look for right away. It's a good one. So I just needed to see this build support, and it took a little bit for it to do so, but it ended up getting the job done. It was right off the 4 level here. Then from there, ended up pushing up pretty nicely. So I'd scaled out across the morning, took some out at 415 right there, 419, ended up taking some out at 458. So overall, at least in accordance to the cyber clock reversal time, this ended up moving up even further, topped off around 10:45 in the morning compared to 10:30. It was even, good in that regard. Now, though, heading into the early afternoon, listen, if you are stepping away from your desk, you got things to do heading into the weekend, that is more important. You don't need to be here, folks. Certainly heading into the slow, late morning, early afternoon, but I was saying to myself, like, hey, on a pullback, if this can at least try and build support from prior little spring levels here, right around 435-ish. Had the VWAP right there too, just bookmap, just kind of showing over time that built into the VWAP price. But yeah, I mean, this became a good entry again, pretty much right off of that level. So right there, 437, that's where I'm currently in from right now. I did take half the trade out just before, though. Took half my trade out at 475, and now the second half of that position. I'm going to hold into the close, I think. See if this could try and make one more push. It does have big resistance at $4.80. After that, even $5. So that's why I at least took half the trade out. Felt pretty good. But even if it does break over 480, I would say $5 just as a whole number, half a decade level. That really should be your larger level to work off of here heading into the close. All right, so what we'll do is go from top to bottom. The wolf is obviously the best looking trade, but the kids is still moving up though. So we'll definitely look at kids in just a moment. KIDZ. We went over this one at least more so in our halts class earlier today. If you're a gold, platinum, diamond, C2 level student, you have access to the phase 2 stock course. And that's where we had the chance to go over halts. And more or less the thing with pre-market here is that there are no halts. There's no volatility halt, at least in the pre-market hour. So that's what allowed that stock to run up as nice as it did. Now, though, hey, going into this trade, kids, I said what I said earlier about this being halted down, and 95% of the time it is just game over. And if anything, maybe heading into the afternoon time, mid-afternoon, it could be a better mover. I don't mind missing out on part of this run if I feel stronger about taking the trade later on. At least here, it's easy to say, but it broke above resistance, flipped 9 into support, moving up over $1 again. So, yeah, kids goes right back on our watch list heading into the close. If you are trading this stock, just be mindful that for as expensive as it's gotten now, and let me say that now, this is not expensive. This is a $10 stock, mind you. But when this was at $1.14 2 days ago, less than 48 hours ago, it was right there. So that's where the spread is opening up. The order book is thinning out a lot more here. I mean, on both sides, you could say that more the bid, but hey, direction is key. It's right at the highs, goes right back on our list. CPS, Cooper Standard Holding. Interesting. Nice little high of the day right there. But for right now, I want something again with better liquidity. So, ooh, nice little move up here. INZY. It's going back down now, at least. There's still a chance for it to build a higher low. I'll come back to this. I'll come back to this here at the end. INZY. We'll give it a second look. All right. RGTX. This seems like another ETF. Rigetti ETF. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty nice, at least up 17%. Very tradable. Almost looks like it's building a bit of a Fausto flag off the highs. So I don't mind putting Rigetti back on our list. We like this stock. QUBT. We like the stock too, and it has good orders. It typically does around these prices. More expensive they get, like I'd said before. But this is nice. I like this. Go over to IONQ. That also at the highs. This one will have a spread at times. Just want to be careful about that. But if all the quantums are going up together, we don't need to add every one of them on our list. If you are more keen to trade one over the other, then go on ahead. Pretty much all of them are tradable. Pretty much all of them are. Just I don't need to, add all of them to our list. You're going to build out a 15, 20 stock watch list doing that, right? So look at this, Fulc, F-U-L-C, Fulcrum Therapeutics. I didn't really see this until now. Nice steady move across the day. Order book a little thin, but spread's good. Oh, gap fill. Oh, nice. We got a little gap fill here to work off of here. I will say there's going to be a little resistance first around 590-ish. But otherwise, though, there could be a lot more ahead here in terms of this gap fill. FULC. It's the list. All right. What else we got? We got HIMS. Yeah, I mean, this, HIMZ, don't get me wrong, but that's the ETF. I mean, this trades a lot more volume. So HIMS easily goes right back on our list. We love this stock. Going right back on up. This held support pretty well just the other day. I mean, you could say yesterday it did pretty much when it blasted back above it, but that's just where this resistance you were looking to see become support in due time and got pretty shaky at first, broke below it. So it should be resistance again. But the more it's banging on that door, you figure it's going to make that better, cleaner move in due time. So nice to see from yesterday into today. And yeah. All right. Anything else looking good here from the gainer side? Probably need to filter my list based on the volume. Yeah, give me a sec here. All right, we'll do a little quick search one more time here. What else we got on the gainers list? RCAT, that's a familiar name. That's done pretty well with the drone stocks. Not to say the quantums as much, but this is more like the drones. Archer, ACHR, that was a great trade from earlier today that Fausto was on top of. So I'd be remiss if I didn't add Archer. I'll add the RCAT with it. AUR here also is, I'll just loosely say, it's kind of an uneducated comment, but we're kind of in the same business in terms of like the drones, the autonomous driving, blah, blah, blah. So AUR doing pretty nice for now. ASTS hanging near the highs. Summit 2, those have thinner order books. Not as much of a need to trade those now at this point. We got HIMS already. QUBT we got. I'll tell you, we built up a damn good watch list already, guys. We'll hop over to the losers list here. Tighten this up a little bit. All right, what do we got here? SEM. Technically could be a short. A little thin on the order book, but kind of close to the lows. I don't really have a great need to put that on our list, but maybe it could drop off more, that SEM. I'll tell you what, there's really nothing else here that stands out as far as a familiar name, larger cap stock. Maybe Apple if you want to look at it there, but it's not down as much. Down 4%, but even this is still just more sideways movement. Nothing happening there for now. Take-Two, TTWO, down big today off the news with Grand Theft Auto. Not going to be out for another year, if not more. So honestly, I'm not surprised, but stock took a huge hit earlier today. All right, folks, you name it, I'll check it out. Let me know at least if anything else looks good. Look at Leda with Weeble. Yeah, it's popping back up now, so I like more of the afternoon, move. That definitely sparks my interest a lot more. Just with this stock, though, the order book is paper thin. You're going to have an easier time making money trading Wolf and Kids and RGTI, QUBT, but I'll add it to our list because it's definitely making more of an afternoon move. Hopefully, this doesn't thin out even more than it is so far. Oh, Andrea saying Kids halted down. So, ooh, okay, not good. We're gonna take it off our list now. I appreciate the shout from Andrea. At least that opens up a slot there for that Weeble, maybe. SMCI may be worth watching. It's doing good, doing all right there, Bill. It's filling a gap. This is where I tell you there's probably like 100 stocks that look like this right now, with at least the market at the highs and a lot of trades doing pretty well, generally speaking. So I'll just say, hey, if you did well on SMCI earlier today, Bill, then you should probably stick with it heading into the afternoon. Maybe if you did well on it yesterday, then stick with it. But otherwise, hey, I'd focus on the ones that we got here for right now first. I mean, PLTR, I got to give more of an exception towards, because this is not only up more percentage wise, but I can't even believe the run that this stock has had again. I mean, I can believe it, but I can't believe it at the same time. When the news came out with NATO back 2 weeks ago, we were going over this whole thing. When a company does a deal with another company, that sounds all right. When a company does a deal with a country, well, that sounds incredible. When a company does a deal with 12 freaking countries out there, a conglomerate of nations together, yeah, that's pretty important. So not only that, but they had the partnership with Google that came out last week. I mean, they're at all-time highs pretty much. They're almost there. So we got to add the Palantir on our list kind of for that reason. Check out Benzinga Pro, see if anything else is like looking like this at least. ALT kind of going up a little bit, up 14% at the highs. So that checks out. That actually I could put on our list. Going back to AUR, a little slow, but this could be a better swing trade even in due time. Pop here on this one, LAES. This might also be a drone type of deal. Yeah, I'll tell you what, as of right now, with everything that we just kind of checked out, I'm going to keep the list as is. I'm going to keep the list as is right there. Keep it short and sweet and simple, and it's not even that short. So, folks, heading into the afternoon, you got the Phase 2 stock course lined up. We're going to be going over more just studying and planning ahead. I know my group of students here. Listen, I'm 33 years old, but I'm speaking to a group of adult professionals with, a decent amount of life experience, perhaps a lot more than myself. And that's just where I'll tell you, I know that we all know how to study. I know that we all know how to write notes down and use a pen and paper. I'm not going to belittle you that much. That's where, though, at least in this class, we're going to go over the best protocols for reviewing trades, and not even trades that you journaled and trades that you took. I mean, we're talking about trades that you didn't even think of until this very moment. So, at least it's easy to go back on a chart and say, well, the stock popped. What's more interesting to do is to go through the full X's and O's from A to Z, head to toe, and ask, why did this stock make the exact move that it made? And then the more that you end up kind of, realizing the same patterns are, working out, you're seeing very common patterns in terms of momentum, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to trade on your own, do things on your own at your will. So, folks, best of luck trading heading into the close if you're not joining me in class. But again, click that link that we just posted for the Phase 2 stock course, just right above Bill and myself there in the chat. And you'll be good to go. And then otherwise, if you're not joining us in class right now, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., ooh, we always like to post this here, at least here, scrolling down on the bottom. I should have done that just from the jump. But if you are interested in joining us inside our live trading room just for a week-long trial, just go right down to the link scrolling down on the banner below in blue, c2.co/trial. To sign up for a week-long trial, join us inside our live trading room, audio commentary in the morning, in the afternoon, every single day of the week. And then with that, you have live workshops as well. But otherwise, folks, best of luck trading. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you otherwise.